Second day of Conic Sections. If you have not done day one, make sure you do that first. Day one is in last week's Friday folder. Today you're going to learn to write in an equation of a horizontal or vertical ellipse in standard form given a graph. To be able to do that, you need to be able to determine the center of the ellipse, which is your HK, and determine the value of A and B. Notice up at the top right, it says in your notes, which means you need to copy all of this down in your notes. Go ahead and pause the video, write it down, and then when you're ready to fill in the missing blanks, press play. Okay, so we're going to talk about the two different equations for a horizontal and a vertical ellipse. Here are the two equations. You'll notice that they're almost exactly the same. They both have x minus h squared and y minus k squared. The only difference is that the a squared and the b squareds have changed. They swap spots for one, okay? You don't have to memorize these. You'll have them in your notes so that you can reference back to them later. Okay, so HK is the center of the ellipse, and A is the distance from the center to the vertices. And B is the distance from the center to the co-vertices. Once you find what those are, what you're going to do is you're going to replace all of these pieces. So H is going to be replaced, K is going to be replaced with a number, A will be replaced with a number, and B will be replaced with a number. Make sure you have this in your notes. We're going to go right into the first example. So example 1, I want you to be able to write an equation for this ellipse. The first thing you need to be able to do, and once again I would do this in your notes, if it says that up here, you need to do this in your notes. To determine whether it is going to be either horizontal or vertical, we have to see, is this ellipse is it longer or is it taller? So look at this, is it longer or is it taller? Is it wider or taller? Well, it's definitely wider, so this is a horizontal ellipse, which means we're going to write down that equation. From here, we need to figure out what our center is. Our center is 0, 0. What our A is. So our A is going to be the distance from the center to the vertice, the longer side. And then you're just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. B is the distance from the center to the shorter part, so the center up. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. B is 4. Now we're going to replace 0 for H, 0 for K, because once again, this is our HK. Replace 6 in for A, replace 4 in for B. It'll look like this when you plug it in. So I put missing blanks where we're going to put the numbers. So 0 is going to go in for H, 0 is going to go in for K, 6 is going to go in for A, and 4 is going to go in for B. All we have to do then is simplify. So x minus 0 right here is just x, and y minus 0 is just y. 6 squared is 36, and 4 squared is 16, and that is your final answer. Let's go on to the next example. So once again, we're writing an equation for this ellipse. The first thing you need to decide, is this a vertical or a horizontal ellipse? Well, look at it. Is it wider or is it taller? It's definitely taller, so this is a vertical ellipse. So you're going to distinguish, okay, this is vertical, this is my vertical equation. Right, next we need to find the center. The center is 0, 0 again. And then A is 7. Remember, A is going to be whatever the longer piece is, okay? So that's why A is going up and down this time, because A is longer. So you're going to count, that's 7, B is 3, and then start plugging in. 0 for H, 0 for K, 7 for A, and 3 in for B. 0 H, 0 in for K, 7 and 3. Simplify. So once again, x minus 0 is x, y minus 0 is y, 3 squared is 9, and 7 squared is 49. And that is your final answer. You can always pause the video and re-listen to it if you ever get confused. Last example, example 3, writing an equation for the ellipse. So first we needed to distinguish, is it horizontal or is it vertical? Well, is it wider or is it taller? It's definitely wider, so this is a horizontal ellipse. There's the horizontal ellipse equation. Our center now is not 0, 0. Our center is over 3, down 6. So 3, negative 6. A is going to be 5. Again, A is the distance from the center to the longer side. So A is going to be 5, B is 1, and we're going to start plugging in. 3 in for H, negative 6 in for K, 5 in for A, 1 in for B. Now we're gonna once again, 3 goes in for H, negative 6 goes in for K, 5 goes in for A, and 1 goes in for B. We got x minus 3 squared plus y plus 6 squared. Notice that this becomes a plus because it's minus a negative. This becomes a plus. And then 5 squared became 25 and 1 squared became 1. There's actually one more step. If you have a denominator of 1, you can get rid of it and write it as follows. So there's your final answer. What I need you to do next is do the assignment. You're going to go back to the lesson folder in Schoology and complete the assignment called Conic Sections Day 2 on a separate sheet of paper. Take a picture of your work, make sure your name is on it, and submit it as an assignment.